What happens when Earth's mightiest heroes become Earth's deadliest threat? A single sneeze sets off a chain reaction that turns the Avengers into flesh-hungry zombies. But in the middle of the apocalypse, one unlikely hero might hold the cure. It all begins with Rocket and Groot, locked up by the Avengers after a botched laser heist. Desperate to break free before their captors return, Rocket orders Groot to crack the security system. But when Groot fiddles with the wiring, the lock backfires, blasting him across the room and triggering the strange flu he picked up from Scar. Soon after, the Avengers arrive and release the prisoners. While Rocket is escorted back to the ship, Captain America pulls Groot aside for a private talk. Cap knows Rocket is a lost cause, but he sees something different in Groot, a spark of potential that could make him a true hero. At the ship, Groot reflects on his actions and approaches Cap once more. He explains how sorry he is, and Cap listens with understanding. But midway through their conversation, Groot suddenly sneezes, right into Cap's face. Cap walks away, wiping himself off in irritation while Groot smacks his own head, convinced he's just made things even worse. Rocket consoles the embarrassed Groot, who is visibly upset. Meanwhile, Cap clutches his skull as a massive headache begins to burn through his mind.
It's my head. It burns.
In that instant, Cap turns into a zombie and sinks his teeth into Black Widow's neck. The chaos quickly unfolds as two more Avengers on board become infected. Black Widow lunges at Tony next, while Thor blocks Cap's advance. Clueless about the infection, Rocket decides to shoot the infected to stop the spread. But at the last second, Banner kicks Rocket's weapon, knocking it off course and blasting a hole in the side of the ship instead. Everyone is thrown by the explosion, but only Rocket is sucked out into the sky. Groot reaches for him just in time, managing to grab hold, but the ship's sudden drop wrenches Groot's arm until it snaps. With no time to grieve, Groot turns his attention to Banner, who lies unconscious on the floor. The zombie Avengers swarm toward him as well. Realizing Banner is their only hope, Groot dives onto him, shielding his body as the zombies bite into Groot instead. Summoning his strength, Groot fights back. He hoists Banner into his arms, leaps from the ship, and crashes down onto a rooftop, using his own body to absorb the full impact. Hours later, Banner stirs awake, only to find the nightmare has just begun. Groot points toward the city below, where they watch the zombie apocalypse unfold. The ship crash failed to kill the infected Avengers, and now the helpless citizens fall like dominoes against their might. Despite the grim scene, Banner makes a chilling deduction. Groot must be the carrier of the infection. After all, Cap was the first to turn after Groot sneezed on him. Yet Groot himself remains unharmed even after being bitten repeatedly. That can only mean one thing. Groot is immune to the virus while humans are not.
If the virus in your sneeze caused this, then I can analyze your mucus to maybe create an antidote.
To do that, the two of them must reach the lab inside Avengers Tower across the street. They both know Banner is vulnerable to infection, while Hulk is practically immune to everything. The problem is that Hulk is a loose cannon, especially in the middle of chaos like this. With no better option, Banner gives Groot an urgent mission. He must escort Hulk to the tower at all costs. Once they arrive, Banner can regain control and work on the cure. Groot protests, but it's the only chance they have. Banner slams his hand with a brick, forcing the transformation as the beast bursts out. Hulk roars into the open, and Groot immediately tries to steer him toward the tower, but Hulk refuses to listen, leaping off the edge in defiance. Mid-air, however, he changes his mind after Groot shouts that Space Skunk is waiting at the tower. When he lands, a swarm of zombie civilians rushes him. Hulk prepares to smash them all. But Groot quickly throws up a wooden wall to block the attack. Seizing the moment, Groot convinces Hulk to take a detour through the park, where there will be fewer infected to get in their way.
Less humans to bug Hulk in park.
As the two make their detour, an unknown figure watches them from the shadows. Suddenly, infected Thor storms into view and slams Hulk with his hammer. He follows up by hurling Mjolnir, sending Hulk crashing toward the tower. For a moment, Groot actually thanks the infected god. Thor has unwittingly helped complete half their mission. But Hulk isn't gone for long. He leaps back into the fight, determined to strike back. In the struggle, Thor sinks his teeth into Groot's arm, ripping it clean open. Thor moves in to finish the job, but then a bolt of lightning strikes Mjolnir. The surge jolts through him, and for a brief instant, Thor regains a shred of his former consciousness.
Mjolnir can't stop it, only slow it.
Groot realizes it's only a matter of time before Thor turns on them again. Acting fast, he grabs Thor by the legs and hurls him as far away as possible. Fortunately, Hulk intercepts mid-air, determined to settle the score. Thor retaliates by blasting Hulk to the ground, and the two collide in a brutal one-on-one battle. Thinking quickly, Groot binds Thor's hammer to a nearby tank. When Thor calls Mjolnir back, the tanks rip free and slam into him. The impact knocks him into the ground, helping him narrowly avoid Hulk's impale, but leaving him trapped and vulnerable. Separated from his hammer, Thor fully succumbs to the infection. Hulk sees his chance to end him once and for all. Groot tries to reason with Hulk, begging him to spare Thor, but the monster refuses. With no choice left, Groot strangles Hulk until he passes out. Moments later, Hulk reverts to Bruce. Groot lifts him up and carries him out of the park. The tower is only a short walk away now. His mission is almost complete. But on the way, Groot hears the cry of a child calling for help. Looking around, he sees no zombies nearby. Believing he can rescue the child quickly before returning to the tower, Groot follows the voice into an underpass. The tunnel is empty of zombies, but the real threat is Groot himself. His sneeze builds uncontrollably, forcing him to drop Banner and sprint away before releasing it. Once it passes, Groot hurries back and picks Banner up again. He finally finds the source of the voice, but it's only a broken baby doll lying on the ground. Suddenly, a horde of zombies floods the tunnel. Groot manages to dodge and shield Banner, but they are quickly surrounded. Desperate to protect Banner, Groot slaps him awake, triggering the transformation. Hulk bursts out in a frenzy, but instead of the zombies, he sets his sights on Groot. Groot tries to repeat his earlier tactic to restrain him, but this time Hulk fights back. With no choice, Groot runs for the exit as the raging monster charges after him.
Hulk make annoying tree man into toothpicks.
Groot barely escapes the street when Hulk confronts him. But before Hulk can strike, his rage is interrupted as Ant-Man stomps down and pins him to the ground. Ant-Man scoops up Groot next and swallows him whole. Hulk recovers quickly, leaping upward and smashing Ant-Man square in the face. The giant collapses, knocked unconscious by the blow. Moments later, Groot bursts out through Ant-Man's mouth, gasping for air. He urges Hulk to keep moving toward the tower, but Hulk notices Ant-Man is still stirring. Remembering Groot's escape, Hulk realizes he can use the same tactic to finish the job. He launches himself straight at Ant-Man's face, forcing the massive villain to open his mouth and swallow him. From the inside, Hulk tears Ant-Man apart. Overwhelmed by the chaos, Groot suddenly recalls Cap's words.
You really need to step up. It's what heroes do.
Cap's words echo in Groot's mind, but it isn't just the message that inspires him. It's Cap himself. Spotting a manhole cover nearby, Groot realizes he can wield it like Cap's shield. With all his strength, he hurls it straight at Ant-Man's belt. The strike hits its mark. Ant-Man suddenly shrinks down to the size of a toy, leaving Hulk confused and thinking his enemy has vanished. To calm the furious monster, Groot offers him a stuffed toy version of Rocket. The sight makes Hulk laugh, and slowly, he reverts back into Banner. For a moment, everything seems to be falling into place, until Groot suddenly sneezes right in Banner's face. Panic surges between them, since only Hulk is immune to the infection. They wait in dread, but nothing happens. Banner doesn't turn. The bewildering moment shatters his earlier theory. If Groot isn't the source, then something else must have caused the outbreak. And that's when Banner realizes the terrifying truth.
It's Captain America. He's the one who started the infection.
Banner and Groot rush straight to the lab as Banner pieces the mystery together. Groot was never the carrier of the infection. It all traces back to the leaky pen General Ross handed Cap earlier. The motive behind the act is still unclear, but there's no doubt the poison was fused into the ink. With this revelation, Banner knows what they must do. Secure Cap's DNA to create an antidote. To draw him out, Banner activates the announcement system inside the tower and calls out the one phrase every Avenger recognizes.
Avengers assemble.
While they wait inside the tower, Banner lays out the plan. Their only objective is to defend the biochem analyzer long enough for it to process Cap's poisoned gloves. Groot worries he can't possibly stand alone against the zombie Avengers, and relying on Hulk is too risky. His power is a double-edged sword that could destroy them as easily as save them. But Banner reassures Groot that this time, he has a strategy. He climbs into the Hulkbuster armor and powers it up, activating the rest of Tony's suits at the same time, just as the infected Avengers storm the tower.
I don't see Cap yet, but incapacitate as many as you can.
The battle erupts, and the infected Avengers prove just as formidable as ever. Though their minds are clouded, their raw aggression and instincts make them brutally lethal. Fortunately, Groot and Tony's armors remain immune to the infection, holding the line against the Horde. Then, at last, Cap arrives, catching Groot completely off guard. He's seconds away from ending Groot's life when Banner intercepts him, grabbing Cap just in time.
We've been waiting for you, boss.
Banner rips off Cap's glove, but before he can act, a sudden beam tears through one of the armors with ease. Banner and Groot freeze in horror as another infected Avenger descends into the fight. It's Captain Marvel, and within seconds, she dismantles the Hulkbuster, ripping Banner out of the suit. Groot scrambles to help him as they sprint toward the lab. Banner slams the door shut and triggers a code red lockdown. The tower's defenses will buy them precious time while the analyzer processes the glove. But safety doesn't last long. A low rumble echoes through the vents, followed by the sound of metal bending. Moments later, Rocket crawls out. Before Banner can react, Rocket lunges and sinks his teeth into Banner's arm. Banner staggers, muttering in despair as the infection spreads through his veins, until his body twists and swells, transforming him into Zombie Hulk.
We failed, Groot.
The situation spirals into disaster as Hulk smashes through the security walls, tearing them apart and unleashing the infected Avengers into the building. They charge at once, overwhelming and unstoppable. Groot knows there's no way he can hold them back. There's only one option left. With trembling resolve, he reaches for the lever and yanks it down. Sprinklers erupt overhead, soaking the room. Groot stares at the rushing Horde, then at Banner, and without hesitation, he thrusts his arm into a live socket. Electricity floods his body, ripping through him in searing waves of agony. He screams, but he refuses to let go. The current surges outward, carried by the water, striking every infected Avenger at once. It should have killed them all. It should have killed him. But Groot's gamble pays off. The electricity doesn't destroy them. It purges the infection, burning away the fungal growths within. The Avengers collapse, cured, as Groot's body convulses under the strain. For a long, terrible moment, the only sound is his cry of pain. Then silence. Smoke curls from his bark as he staggers to his knees. He did it. Against all odds, he saved them. Moments later, the Avengers stir, alive and free of the virus. Banner explains what happened, but even he can barely believe it. Groot not only guided a raging Hulk all the way to the tower without bloodshed, he sacrificed himself, wagering his very life on a desperate theory. His memory of Thor's lightning was the spark that lit the idea, but it was his courage that carried it through. Cap looks at him with awe. Groot didn't just fight beside them, he proved himself a true Avenger.
You proved yourself today. You're a true hero.
Meanwhile, Stark is still baffled, clueless as to how Banner managed to crack his security code, even as the remains of his armor tumble from the rooftop. For the Avengers, survival feels like a victory. But they all know this is only the beginning. Saving themselves is just the first step. The infection is still raging outside, and the entire world is at stake. Electrocution worked once, but it's not a solution that can be scaled to humanity. They need something safer, something widespread, an antidote people can breathe in, fast enough to turn the tide. As Banner and Cap strategize their next move, Cap realizes who they need. Someone powerful enough to execute controlled strikes, and capable of manipulating the very air itself to deliver the cure on a massive scale. Cap turns to Banner with determination in his eyes.
To do so, we'll need one of the X-Men. We'll need Storm.
Contacting Xavier is the fastest way to reach Storm. But as simple as that sounds, one thing is certain. The infection that tore through the Avengers has almost certainly reached the X-Men as well. The real question is, can they get to Storm in time? That's all for now. We hope you enjoyed this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this. And if you're ready for the next chapter, check out the next video. We'll see you there. Take care.